Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today here at 2 Thunder TV. We're at the 50th anniversary of the Cavalcade of Customs with Pete Rose. Pete, we appreciate you joining us and being here with us today.
Thank you, Jimmy. I thought you were going to say thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You sound like Elvis there for a minute.
Yeah, well, we bring Elvis in the building here.
Yes,
It's
sir.
the 75th anniversary of his birthday here.
That's right.
Recently. Pete, we really appreciate you coming out to the Cavalcade of Customs and being with us today. What the future hold for you at this point in time in your life? Where do you hope to go from here?
Well, what I do, Jimbo, is I work in Vegas about 17 days a month at the Field of Dreams store at the Caesar's Farm Shops, and I live in California. And Las Vegas, by the way, is the only city where that gig works and the only mall where it works. It's the biggest mall in the country. And what it's like, it's like doing 17 card shows a month at the same place.
Oh, my.
And as you know or may not know, you can only do one card show a year in New York, one card show a year in Cincinnati, Chicago. But in Vegas, because of the fluctuation of people, every day last year, 40 million people visited Las Vegas, Nevada.
We were one of them.
Well, I'm sure you were. And you get to meet people from North Dakota and South. I don't know where the hell North Dakota is. But you get people from South Dakota and Idaho and Wyoming and places like that don't get to meet a lot of celebrities in their hometowns.
That's right. Well, and it's wonderful that you do that because you have so many.
It's my job. I mean, but I enjoy people. I enjoy meeting people. I mean, people are fun, and if you want to meet people, sitting in my chair at the Field of Dreams store at the Farm Shops is where
that's
you
the
meet
place
people.
to be.
Yeah.
Well, you like meeting people, but there's just so many fans of yours all across the country, Pete, that just love you and respect you and had a great deal of admiration for you and have followed your career since the inception of it.
Well, what that tells me, Jim, is a lot of moms and dads are talking to their kids about me because it's amazing how many autographs I sign for kids. And, and I haven't played baseball since 1986. I haven't been in uniform since 1989. But my demographics is pretty good because of, the grandpas who watched me play and the fathers who watched me play and a lot of the 20, 25-year-old kids were able to watch me play. So I'm pretty lucky as far as demographics and selling autographs and meeting a lot of people.
Well, your fame precedes you, and we do tell our kids and our grandkids about you, but it's not much to say because when you just say the name Pete Rose, all the wonderful things come up.
Well, even today in baseball, they kind of help you out. What I mean by that is with all the shenanigans going on in baseball today with the steroids and stuff like that, and I think the majority of people really appreciated the way I played the game.
Yes,
because I think the fans understood that when I played the game, I never wanted to cheat the fans. I wanted the fans to always go home with a good taste in their mouth. Obviously, I didn't get a hit every day, or we didn't win every day, but the whole Big Red Machine played like that, and not just me. I mean, Bench played like that, and he just didn't run the first on a base on balls, or Morgan, or Perez, or Concepcion, or Foster, or Griffey, or Geronimo. We all played the game the same way, and that's why we had such a love affair with the fans, and we kind of spoiled it for the teams the Reds have today because we won a lot of championships and we won a lot of divisions and we won a lot of baseball games, and it was a lot of fun. And I appreciated that probably more than anybody on the Big Red Machine, and the reason for that is I was born here. I was the only member of the Big Red Machine who was born in Cincinnati.
Yeah, hometown boy.
Yeah, I was born 4 miles from Crosby Field. So, and I think back when I was a kid, the dream of every kid was to play for the Reds.
That's right.
And I remember opening day, I wasn't nervous until about 10 minutes before game time, and a guy from the Cincinnati Enquirer came down and wanted to get a picture with me and my mom and dad. And it kind of woke me up to where in the heck I was. Man, you're starting second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds on opening day. And as you know or may not know, in those days, opening day was only in Cincinnati. There was no other games played until Tuesday. The Reds always, because of baseball starting here in 1869, and that first night game in 1935, traditionally the Reds got opening day on Monday. And now, as you know, ESPN has the World Champions on Sunday night. So that tradition's out the window, along with the Finley Street Parade and a lot of other great traditions here in Cincinnati as far as baseball.
Yes.
We believe baseball capital of the world is Cincinnati.
Well, it
We
always
Cincinnatians, I say.
Yeah, well, it always is. Opening day is a religious holiday almost here in Cincinnati.
It's you know what it's like. It's a lot like it's a lot like the Kentuckians in Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
And what I mean
Good
by
comparison.
that, what I mean by that is there's a lot of guys today in their 60s or 70s who went to opening day of Cincinnati with their dads or their grandpas who are gone now. And that's what brings the tears to people's eyes at opening day of Cincinnati, or when they start playing my old Kentucky home when the horses come out and track for the Kentucky Derby. It's all that tradition and who took you to the game, who'd you go to the game with, and you know, if you're in your 60s or 70s or 50s, a lot of times those people who took you aren't there anymore. So you kind of think about the good old times.
Reminiscing back.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Well, what's the future hold for you from this point on?
Well, you take it one day at a time when you get up where I am. I mean, you know, you go to bed at night, you hope you wake up tomorrow morning. So,
okay.
But I travel a lot, and it's fun, and you know, I watch my son play basketball, and I got a little girl in college, and I got 4 grandkids now, and one Peter Edward Rose III.
Outstanding.
He's 5 years old and can hit.
That's good.
He can hit. He can hit better than I could when I was 5.
Well, we got maybe a good hitter coming up for Cincinnati Reds. Then.
I guess that street name Pete Rose is going to go on for a long time.
I hope so.
He'll probably have a son and name him Pete Rose.
I hope so. Well, Pete, there's a lot of people that admire you and look up to you. What would you say to somebody that wanted to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give to a young person?
Well, I think a young person, everybody has expertise, and some are baseball players, some are lawyers, some are school teachers, some are policemen, some are firemen. I think if you can find out as early as you possibly can what your expertise are, then just hone them and try to become the best at what you can do. And I learned at a very early age that I was going to be a guy that got a lot of base hits and scored runs. I wasn't going to be a home run hitter, and I did that. You know, Johnny Bench learned he was going to be a home run hitter, and he did that. Joe Morgan learned he was going to steal bases and be a good player, and he did that. So don't try to be something you're not. And then, of course, you have to work hard. You have to be dedicated. Pardon me, but I think you're way ahead of the game if you can really enjoy doing what you're doing. And I enjoyed playing the game of baseball. I never looked at playing baseball like a job. And I always said if it ever become a job, I'd have to quit. They had to get rid of me because it never become a job to me. And you know, it's just the way it was. But I was just a chip off the old block. I mean, I was the second best well-known Pete Rose in this town. My father was a great athlete in this town, and I'm the same as him. I was dedicated. I was punctual. I busted my chops when I worked. I never missed a day of work. You know, I played 24 years and never missed a day of batting practice.
That's outstanding.
Never was late. Never was late to a game, you know, at the batting practice. Because, you know, when you're a leadoff hitter and you're catching airplanes and buses and trains, when you make a living, it don't wait for nobody. Airplanes don't wait for anybody. So you better be 5 minutes late as opposed to being 5 minutes early or late. That was my philosophy. And I just was able to play with a lot of great players. I was allowed to play for a great manager, Sparky Anderson. You know, when you play with Morgan and Bench and Perez and Mike Schmidt and Gary Carter and Andre Dawson, those were all my teammates, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. And then, of course, you got Sparky Anderson, the Hall of Fame manager, and I don't think people really understand the type of team the Big Red Machine was, because, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong about this, but I believe it's the only team in the history of baseball that had a Hall of Fame manager, a white Hall of Famer, a black Hall of Famer, and a Spanish Hall of Famer.
That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
We just got to get one other person in that Hall of Fame here just real soon.
You know, I messed that up, so we'll be all right. Don't worry about that.
You'll be fine. Well, Pete, I know there's a lot of people waiting to get with you today, and we appreciate the time that you spent with us here and being at the 50th anniversary of the Cavalcade of Customs. Thank you so much for being here. Pete, it's been an honor to be with you, my friend.
Thank you. And what's scary about saying the 50th anniversary, I could have been at the first one.
Well, thank you, my friend.
You could have, too.
Yes, both of us could.
And we're here, though, aren't we?
We're still here, and we're still kicking, and we plan to continue doing the same thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance, come on out and visit us today at the last day of the Cavalcade of Customs here in Cincinnati, Ohio. See Pete and his friends and the rest of the staff here. Thank you so much for joining us today.